Little land leads to big animal adventures. Welcome to your new role as lead graphic designer. You've just landed a massive new contract, and, well, that quote is actually one of the mandatory slogans you're going to be working with. Today, we've put together an explainer covering absolutely everything you need to know to nail this client brief. We're going to break down the exact steps you need to take to not just get the job done, but to truly blow the client away. So, let's jump right in. We are looking at the Cambridge National Creative iMedia R094 assignment. But honestly, instead of looking at it like a dry 14-page school assignment, let's treat this as a strategic roadmap for a real-world agency pitch. Your new client is Little Land of Fun, and this explainer is basically your ultimate blueprint to success. We're going to take all those dense, intimidating requirements and translate them into a super clear, actionable workflow. To keep this whole thing manageable, we've chunked the project down into 4 distinct phases. First, your next big client. Second, Phase 1, the master plan. Third, Phase 2, final deliverables. And fourth, hitting top mark bands. Starting off with Section 1, your next big client, understanding the brief.
Look, before you even think about opening up your graphic design software, you absolutely have to understand your core constraints. If you don't know who you're designing for, it doesn't matter how beautiful your artwork is, it's going to fail. Your client, Little Land of Fun, is a theme park totally centered around wild animal adventures. But here's the tricky part. Notice the dual target demographic. It's for children aged 3 to 10 and their families or caregivers. So every single design choice is a balancing act. You need those fun, child-friendly styles, simple shapes, and vibrant colors to hook a 5-year-old, but the layout and the actual info, that has to be crystal clear for the parents who are, actually driving the car and buying the tickets.
I want you to keep the number 50 locked in your mind. There are exactly 50 total marks available for this entire project. That breaks down to 20 marks for your planning and 30 marks for your creation. So literally every single detail, every pixel, and every justification matters if you want to capture all 50. Moving on to Section 2, Phase 1, the master plan, which is all about designing and planning the visual. The absolute golden rule of graphic design is that you focus purely on planning before any actual building begins. This corresponds directly to Task 1 of your assignment, and we can break it down into a really simple 4-step chronological workflow. Step 1, you sketch and design a visual identity, your logo. Step 2, you justify those choices. Step 3, you create a wireframe or sketch of your leaflet layout showing exactly where text, images, and colors are going to go. And finally, Step 4, you prepare a complete asset table. Now notice the heavy emphasis on the word why. Step 2, justifying your choices, is honestly a massive trap for young designers. The client doesn't just want a list of what fonts you used. They need to know why. Why does that specific, easy-to-read font combined with those bright colors and simple animal shapes fit young families perfectly? Your justification has to explicitly connect your design back to both the client and that target consumer. All right, Section 3. Phase 2, final deliverables, where we actually create the final graphic products. Okay, so your master plan is approved, which means your actual production, editing, and software skills finally come out to play. We can simplify this heavy production phase into 5 really actionable steps that'll take you from a totally blank digital canvas to a fully exported client package. First, you'll digitize that logo. Then, you prepare your assets, so we're talking cropping, removing backgrounds, tweaking colors. Step 3 is building the main print graphic. Step 4 is repurposing that graphic for the web. And Step 5 is getting your export settings absolutely flawless. For your main product, the print graphic is an A4 3-fold leaflet. But hey, pay super close attention here. You only have to design either the entire front or the entire back. Please, do not design both. You'll just be making extra work for yourself. Your design has to seamlessly integrate your new logo, key park info like entry prices, a map, and rides. And don't forget, you must include one of those mandatory slogans. Remember the one from earlier? Animal Adventures, Big Smiles is honestly a great option. Now, the number 72 is your next hard constraint. When you move to Step 4 and start repurposing your beautiful print leaflet for online use, the client's specifications explicitly demand that it must be exported at exactly 72 dpi, or dots per inch. No exceptions. And the constraints don't stop at dpi. The online version of your graphic has to be resized to exactly 842 pixels wide by 595 pixels high. Look, you really don't want to lose silly marks on formatting just because you ignored the client's exact technical requirements. These pixel dimensions are absolute.
Before we get into the grading stuff, you have to use the mandatory asset table template to track legal issues. Think of this as covering your bases. You have to track the source, the properties, and the legal issues for every single image, icon, and font you use in this project. So you grab an image of a lion from the internet. You absolutely must document its copyright status and your permission for use. It's just a critical professional habit.
Finally, Section 4, Hitting Top Mark Bands, the secret cheat code to top grades.
I actually love to think of the grading rubric as the ultimate client expectation document. It's basically a cheat code for top grades because it tells you exactly what the examiner is hunting for. This Task 1 rubric grid literally dictates whether you walk away with a basic 1 mark or a really comprehensive 6 marks for your design concept. Notice how the columns shift up from Mark Band 1 on the far left to Mark Band 2 in the middle and up to the top tier, Mark Band 3 on the right.
Let's be real. There's a massive gap you need to cross here. The source material defines Mark Band 1 with words like limited, inefficient, superficial, and dependent, which basically means you needed constant help. To hit Mark Band 3, that top tier, your work has to be described as comprehensive, effective, independent, and accurate. Your design must be fully suitable for the client, and your justification has to prove, without a doubt, that you understand exactly why it's fit for purpose.
Okay, vital warning time. This could save your entire project. The source material explicitly advises you must take continuous screenshots of the image editing software tools while they are in use. This is your critical evidence. If you don't document exactly how you removed a background or how you applied a specific layout convention, the client and the examiner won't have any proof of how it was made. And you risk losing major points for your technical skills. Just keep hitting that screenshot button.
So, before you wrap this all up and package it for delivery, run through this rapid-fire final checklist. Have you thoroughly explained the target audience? Are your font and color choices fully justified? Is your layout totally planned out? Are all your assets tracked with any legal issues noted? Is the logo and that A4 leaflet actually created? Did you remember to resize the online version to those exact pixel dimensions at 72 dpi? And finally, are those crucial screenshots saved? All right, you have the master plan, you know all the hard constraints, and you possess the actual cheat code for the top mark bands. You are completely ready to tackle the little land of fun brief. So I'm going to leave you with this question as you fire up your design software. Will your final project deliver those big smiles for the 3 to 10-year-olds, or will it miss the mark? The canvas is all yours. Have fun with it.